Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. Just wanted to say thank you from Rolo and I for taking an interest in what we're doing, and please remember to vote for us at the link provided on the webpage. So with that, I think we're going to start our tour here, and as you can see, it's a kind of a large overview of North and Central America and all the countries we're going to go to. And then we start off in Atlanta, Georgia. And so Rolo and I both go to grad school there, and we're going to fly out to the Bahamas first. And specifically in the Bahamas, we are first headed to Lusail National Park, and we're going to go diving in one of the world's largest and longest underwater cave systems. So we're pretty pumped about that. We think it's a cool experience. Next, we're headed to Thunderball Grotto, where we're going to snorkel, see some coral, and visit the site of two James Bond movies, both Thunderball and Never Say Never Again. After that, we're headed to Cuba, and within Cuba, we are headed to Havana, and not just any part of Havana, but old Havana, to see some monuments, museums, some great architecture. It's been a city since the 1500s, so there's lots of cool history there. After all that heavy museums, we are headed to Playa Jacoba to kind of relax. It's supposed to be some really nice coral reefs right off the shore. After that, we're headed to Jamaica, and in Jamaica, we are headed first to Dunn's River Falls, which is a 600-foot waterfall, and we're going to lounge in some lagoons and really relax in that area, so it should be really cool. And then we're headed to Dolphins Cove, which is the largest natural dolphin lagoon in the world, and we'll get to swim with some dolphins there, so we're excited. After that, we're headed to Haiti, and the first place we're going to head is the Palace of Sans Souci, and it's basically way out in the middle of kind of some rainforest, and it was a fort dating back to the 1800s when Haiti was fighting for their independence. Next, we are headed to Citadelle La Ferraille, which is a mountaintop fortress in northern Haiti, where we'll learn about some of the history. Then we fly over to the Dominican Republic, and we start off getting to Santo Domingo, where we head to the La Zona Colonial, which is the oldest permanent settlement in the Western Hemisphere. So we're excited to see the history there and some of the cool buildings. After that, we're headed to Yago Enriquillo, which is a lake in the Dominican Republic, and it's the largest lake and lowest point in the Caribbean. After that, we head to St. Kitts and Nevis, where we're going to first just do some relaxing on South Friars Beach. It's supposed to be one of the best beaches in the world. Taking some waves, maybe do a little surfing, should be exciting. After that, we're headed to the Botanical Gardens of Nevis, which are world-renowned for their diversity in both plant and animal life, and you can see there's amazing views there of this mountain and the surrounding countryside. Next, we're headed to Antigua and Barbuda, these two little island countries here, that have actually just one country, I should say. And the first place we head is in Antigua. And Antigua, we are going to Nelson's Dockyard, which is an extremely famous shipyard. You can see tons of ships there. It's been in use since the 1700s, and they've done a really great job restoring it. Then we're headed to the caves at Two Foot Bay, where we can see some petroglyphs from ancient Indian civilizations that lived here. And then we're headed to Dominica. And in Dominica, we are going to first hike to the second largest hot spring in the world. It's called Boiling Lake. It's in this large national park, and it takes about, I think it's a day hike to get out there, so we're super pumped to be able to do that. And then we are headed to see Trafalgar Falls, which is on the second highest mountain in Dominica. After that, we are headed to St. Lucia. And St. Lucia, the first place we are headed is the Latia Gardens, and we're going to lounge under some waterfalls that they have there. It's supposed to be a great place to kind of relax and recollect. And then we're headed to Marigot Bay, which you can snorkel and rent a yacht to sail around the island, which we're pretty excited about. After that, we're headed to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And first we're going to Kingstown, which is supposed to have a ton of historical government buildings and things like that. It's been a city for, again, hundreds of years. And then we're headed down to Port Elizabeth, where we'll hike some trails that are supposed to be in that area and get some keepsakes from the town. After that, we're headed to Barbados, where we will first go to St. Nicholas's Abbey, which is this huge plantation house that they've restored for all its historical significance. It's supposed to be really gorgeous. Next, we take an electric tram through Harrison's Cave, which is actually supposed to be similar to Carlsbad, but they built an electric tram that goes through it. Then we are headed to Granada, and in Granada we are first headed to um, the Grand Etang National Park, where we are supposed to lounge in some hot springs and see some really beautiful nature there. So we're excited to do that. And then we are headed to see the underwater sculptures of St. George, which are the sculptures that they have placed underwater to help restore some of the coral that has been degraded in the area due to weather and tourism. So it's an ecotourism place, and we're pretty pumped to go diving there. After that, we head to Port of Spain, where we're going to see some beautiful beaches, and Maracas Bay in Trinidad and Tobago, a gorgeous mansion at Queen's Park, and they also have some royal botanical gardens, which are supposed to be amazing. So, really catch some sights there. And then we're headed to Pitch Lake, which is a tar pit that has been around, forever. And so it's a natural tar pit, which we're excited about. After that, we're headed to Panama, which is Rolo's home country. And he and I are pretty excited about that. He's gonna show me the sights that the locals see. We're gonna kayak up and down the Panama Canal, so we're pretty excited to head there. And then we're head out to Soberania National Park, where we'll hike to and see a bunch of rainforest wildlife and things like that, so kind of camp out there. Next, we're headed to Costa Rica, and we're also excited to go to Costa Rica because of all the ecotourism there. So we're first headed to Verde, where we'll go canyoning during the day, and then we'll take a twilight zipline canopy tour. So that should be really cool. And then we're hiking out to the Arenal volcano, and it's still an active volcano. You can see a lot of this really cool stuff online about what it looks like at night. See some live lava. Next, we're headed to Nicaragua, and in Nicaragua, we're first going to head to Granada Colonial City, where we take a horse and carriage ride through the city's cobbled streets, down to the lakeshore, where we can rent a boat and take a tour of kind of the Las Islas Archipelago that's out there. Next, we head to Leon, and in Leon, you can't actually see it in this picture, but it's surrounded by smaller volcanoes. And these volcanoes ash so much that the sides actually have like a powder layer, kind of like snow, and so people actually go snowboarding down the side of these mountains. So we're excited to head there because we're actually going to get to snowboard down the side of a volcano. Um, so Rollo and I are both pretty pumped about that. After that, we're headed to Honduras, and there we're going to go whitewater rafting down the Rio Cardrajal in Honduras, and so it's got some class 4 and 5 rapids. Rollo and I are both pretty good whitewater rafters, so we're excited to see those. And then we're headed to the Copan Ruinas, and these are the first of the ancient Mayan ruins that we're going to see. You can't actually see them in this video, but these are some of the most pristine and untouched Mayan ruins in Central America. And so we're excited to kind of see, before everything gets super touristy and before they really don't let you interact with the ruins, what it's like and what these ruins really look like. Next, we're headed down to El Salvador, where the first place we'll go is the Panchamalco Indian Village, where they've got tons of really amazing churches and some really cool colonial architecture. Then we are headed over to Barra de Santiago to kayak the mangrove swamps and kind of see the estuary that's there, so it's a unique environment, salt and fresh water. Then we fly out to Guatemala, and in Guatemala we first head to Tikal, and Tikal is this really cool monument. You can see that it's so well known that Google has actually rendered a couple of the temples in 3D. And again, these are two of the most famous temples that you can think of or that you think of for Mayan ruins, so we're pretty excited about that. The next place we head is the Chichicastenango Market. I'm not sure if I'm saying that one right, which has been dubbed the most colorful native market in the Americas, so it's super cool. You get to know the locals really well. After that, we head to Belize, where the first thing that we'll do is kayak the underground Caves Branch River, which is the largest underground cave, which are some of the largest underground caves in the world. And after that, we head out to more Mayan ruins in Lamanai, and to get there, we have to take a 26-mile trek up the river. You can see there's no real roads or anything out to the ruins, so we're pretty pumped to not only take a river tour through the rainforest and see the cool wildlife, but also see some of these amazing Mayan ruins. The next place we head to is Mexico, And the first place we head in Mexico is Chichen Itza, which is the last stop for Mayan ruins that we go to. But again, these are so famous that you can see Google has rendered them in 3D there, and these ruins are supposed to be absolutely unbelievable. They're considering putting them in some of the ancient wonders of the world. Then we head to Mexico City, the world's largest city, and we're going to take in all the sights and sounds and anything that we can do in Mexico City. And after that, we head to Los Cabos, which is supposed to be an amazing place for beaches and surf. It's kind of, when you think of the West Coast, you kind of think of these huge rocks jutting out of the ocean, and that's down in Cabo. And so we're going to take a horseback ride just through the trails and along the ocean in Cabo. And after that, we are headed to Hollywood and back to the United States. And so in Hollywood, we will plan to do the Walk of Fame, maybe get a picture with the star, or at least one of the stars on the road, right? Definitely get a picture of the Hollywood sign up on the mountains there that you can't quite see. After that, we're headed to Mount Rushmore to get some inspiration from some of our nation's greatest leaders. And after Mount Rushmore, we head to Canada. And in Canada, we start out by going to Parliament Hill. And I think the neat thing about Parliament Hill, it's kind of our equivalent of Washington, D.C. It's where their Senate and House of Commons meets. So we, trying to get a picture there, maybe get a picture with a politician. And then we're headed to Niagara Falls, which is the world's largest fall. I'm not sure how they define that, but it should be a really great waterfall. And then we kind of end our trip here. The last place that we travel to is New York and the Statue of Liberty on Ellis Island. And I've never been to Ellis Island, and I don't think Rolo has either, so he and I are both excited to see kind of an up-close and personal view of the Statue of Liberty. And then finally we fly back home to Atlanta, Georgia, and that's pretty much our trip. But none of these places are set in stone, so please, 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 if you have any feedback, give it to us, and let us know if there is anything that we should do or that we've missed. Just go to the Your Input tab on our webpage. And I think that's it. Thanks, guys.